Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am going to pull out of my stash a product that I had ordered a while back and had not used. But before I do that, I would like to open up some Happy Mail that I received. I got 2 cards from Debbie J over at Debbie J's Crafting Corner. So I'm going to open those up first. I think I won one of these, at least one of these cards. And try not to tear up the card inside. So let's see. Okay, hang on. What did you do, Debbie J? Okay, let me. So I think she's just got a protective sheet in here. Yes, so she put an extra sheet of paper in here to protect the card. And this is so cute. It's a little mouse with a coffee cup. She knows I love my coffee. And it's got her hand stamp on the back. But isn't that cute? I think maybe that's a house mouse stamp. And the butterfly is very glittery. It has glitter on it. It's pretty. And I think that might be a Simon Hurley paste. I'm not sure if that's Phoenix Feather or the unicorn, something like that. Anyway, very pretty. And she included this little sticker, kidnapped by the Craftosphere. That is cute. I'm sure that's how my husband feels a lot of the time. And she sent me a Christmas card. I feel terrible that I did not send out very many Crafty Christmas cards this year. It's from her and the Todd. Super pretty. Look at that foiling. Maybe this was the, I don't remember. I was going to say maybe this is the one I want, but I'm not sure. Look at all that beautiful holographic goodness there. So thank you, Debbie J. And I keep my cards, I sort of rotate out my cards that I have on display, and then sometimes I will send them on. And then I got this. So of course I save up money for Christmas along. And I had, in my money that I had saved up, I had a little extra. So I ordered myself some goodies. Let's see. I think this one I ordered after Christmas. This one I actually ordered before Christmas. So this is from Pink and Maine. And oh, isn't that a pretty thank you butterfly? And don't think I can save that. I'm not even going to try. And this is, oh, I could not resist this stamp set. To go, because I have a bunch of coffee sentiments, and every time I go to do a coffee card, it's like I don't really like hardly any of them. So this is great. It's sending grande-sized love just to espresso my gratitude. You're my favorite coffee date, something to perk up your day. We go together like cream and sugar. Good days start with coffee and you. Sending you a latte birthday wishes. Love you. And then it's got grande, venti, and trenta. How have you been? Thanks for perking me up. I hope this note perks you up. Thanks a latte. I love you a venti. I've been thinking about you. I miss you a latte. You deserve a break. So that's wonderful. And then I've got this set of 4 foiling transfer folders. So that is fabulous. It's used with my ink machine. And I keep saying I'm going to sit down and do some foiling, whether it's a video or just for myself. And I haven't done it. I was going to do it this past week because I was off the whole week for Christmas, and then I was sick. And anyway, so, and part of it we were just closed for Christmas, and the other part I used my annual leave. So that was pretty disappointing to use my annual leave to be sick. And this is from My Creative Time. I just recently, in the past, like, I don't know, 5 months or so, found her shop. And I really like her products that she has. And this was her newest release. And it took me a little while to get it. Sorry, I'm just always so afraid I'm going to cut something in the package. Hang on one second. Let me do it this way. Let's not have anybody bursting into tears here when she cuts her products. Ah, ha, ha. Here we go. And I did not get, this is her new release. I didn't get the whole thing. Because she had a little box die. And I'm like, I don't really need that little box, blah, blah, blah. And I saw a bunch of projects that people did with them. And I'm like, well, how brilliant. Why doesn't my mind work like that? So I might end up at some point getting that other die. But this is a little note card. This is for doing little tiny note cards. And yes, you can, I have actually used some of my large strips of cardstock to do note cards, but this does cut out like the right size little layers and different things. This cuts it out and you got a little heart there. So I'll be doing something with this. This has postage. That's a little postage die. So you can use these in these little squares. You could use individually. but they're made to go in this big postage stamp. So I just really liked that. I like the size of it. And this is a winter themed stamp and die set. And this was not, I don't remember how much I paid for this, but it really was not that much money. So anyway, it's got, oh, and you can use this with the postage dies. Let's see, you've got some of the little postagey things there. And you can see all those sentiments there. Let's see, in case you can't read some of these smaller ones. Missing you so much. Just a little note. Warm and fuzzy hugs. And there's 2 of those. Special delivery, first class mail, forever. And then some airmail, some teensy weensy little snowflakes. Winter wonderland, cozy vibe, sweater weather. So you could use any of this sweater weather, snuggle weather. You could use that for fall. And then you've got all these winter ones, and you could use some of these for Christmas or, you know, through February. So anyway, and there's all the little dies to cut all that stuff out. So anyway, and this was the Hello Winter Stamps and Dies, the 2x2 note card set. I gave somebody a set of these, and they little note cards, and they were thrilled with them. I was kind of surprised. So I might do more sets of note cards to give as like little gifts. And then this is the 3-inch postage cover die. And those are all from my creative time. And this is going into my unused bin. And this one I'm using today is coming out of my unused products bin. This is the Lovely Rose Peony Build-A-Garden from Altenew. And you have the vase and this huge, beautiful flower. And I went ahead and stamped out some flowers and vases ahead of time. And then it's got a ton of sentiment stamps in it, and I got this on sale. I'm pretty sure I paid half price. But if you just check their website often, they have things on sale all the time. And I try to only, you know, have my sort of price point. So anyway, and some of these work together, like this sending you and wishing you. So you would do sending you or wishing you a bouquet of smiles and sunshine, all the love in the world, warm wishes wrapped in love, things like that. And then you have stand alone, hello dear friend, celebrate yourself, you deserve it. Sending positive energy your way, just a note. Anyway, just a bunch of stuff. And then you've got this thinking of you, just for you. So, you know, lots of things that you can mix and match. And most of their stamp sets or stamp and die sets come with these project guides, and these cards you can actually cut these out, and you could use that as a card front if you wanted to, but I just use them as suggestions. And then they tell you what colors they used for those. And then they tell you how to use your stencils. So anyway, I am, and you know, I'm pretty traditional when it comes to my flowers, and I just do pretty much pink, red, yellow, orange, lavender, purple flowers. I'm going to do a blue flower today. I don't do a lot of blue flowers, but I actually need a couple of sympathy cards, and that seems pretty appropriate. So I'm going to get two, and I did go ahead. I actually went ahead and colored a vase, but I'm not going to use that now. There's two vases. And the reason that one's done is I started to do a video, and then you should have seen me. I could not figure out how to line up these stencils for nothing. You'd think it's the first time in my life I had ever used one. But anyway, I figured it out. And I'm going to pull in my stamp wheel. I use it to stamp these. And I love this thing for stenciling. I mean, it is just the best when it comes to holding your stencils in place. I even got the bigger mat that I can put on my desk, but I just pulled this out. And so I had the worst time trying to figure out how to line up this very first stencil. It was terrible. You'd think I'd never seen one before. And this, at least for me, this does require a little bit of masking. So I'm going to get that done. And let's see, I'm going to use my Simon Hurley inks. Gosh, when I picked up card making again in 2019, I tried a bunch of inks. You know, I was buying from Michael's. That's before I bought anything online. I tried several different inks. I found Catherine Pooler, and I have loved them now for years. But some, and I know I've mentioned this before, some of my ink pads are doing funky things. And I even replaced one of them. But then and it's not even my oldest ones that are doing it. And it's not like the ink pads are dry. They get these, and it's in spots. Like it'll have one spot, like this weird little crusty thing will start. It's just weird. But anyway, so kind of replacing those because I decided when I just tossed a few of those that were doing the weird things. And I thought, well, Simon Hurley, he just came out with his foam pads at that time. And I thought I would try them. I'm like, well, you know, I really like these inks. I don't exactly know what it is about them, but I just really like them. I like the colors. I love these blending brushes he came out with. They're so easy for me to use. Anyway, oh, and that was Clear Skies. And then I'm going to bring in Midnight Snack. But, I mean, you kind of think, well, ink is ink, but I don't know. There is something about these that I really like. Okay, now, there we go. I started to say, am I going to struggle with this again? Now, I cannot remember when I bought this, but it's been sitting here for a minute. And I thought it is time to pull this out and use it. Oh, and I got this thing. It's perfect for these Salmon Hurley brushes. It was off of Etsy, and if I can remember it, I will link it in the description box. But anyway, perfect for these. And then I also have these Altenew brushes like this, which I also wait until they're like 50% off to buy these. And the same woman who does those, oh, so those fit in that same size as those Salmon Hurley brushes, but she also makes this other one that holds these smaller size brushes. So it's wonderful. And I tell you what, I think I may have said this before, but I like these shorter bristle. I find they're easier to blend than these brushes with these long bristles. I don't know why. And that might just be sort of a personal thing too. But anyway, back to blending. I'm going to do my best to do a really light hand here. I've been using these a good bit. I might need to re-ink these. I re-inked my Black Widow one. Put too much ink in it. And then I had to squish some off of it on some paper. So it's like putting salt into your food. You can add more, but if you get too much, you can't take it out. Okay, that is all I'm going to do there. And let's see here. There we go. Nope. Yep. Nope. There. Okay. And then you just press it down on this mat. It's brilliant. And I put my lids on. Put them on, take them off, so that I don't accidentally stick my brushes in the wrong ink, because I cannot tell you how many times I have done that before. Oops, and I also better mask this off. I don't mind so much if it gets on the white part, because, oh, these are the flower centers. I want to mask this one off. I'm going to die cut this out, so I don't mind if it gets on the white part of the card. And now we are going to go in darker here. So I'm not going to even tap this off very much. This definitely needs re-inking. I have used this so much. This is like my new favorite blue color. Or blue shade of blue. You know what I mean. So let me see if I like that. Come on. Oh, yes. And then I want to turn this. Put this over here. There we go. Once I figured this out, lining it up, it was pretty easy peasy. But boy, you should have seen me the first trying to do that video. Trying to do a video. It's kind of hilarious, but. And if I had just struggled a little bit to line it up, but no, it took me forever. I was like, what is your problem? So now we're going to go really dark with Midnight Snack. And I got a sample pack of Salmon Hurley paper. I really need to try it. Scrapbook.com was really good. It came and some of the pieces in it were damaged. Stupid post office. I was so mad. But Scrapbook.com, and I told them, I said, these are the pieces that were damaged inside. And so they refunded that portion of my purchase. Isn't that lovely? And that's just 2 inks going lighter and darker with each shade. So you don't need, you know, 3 or 4 inks to do your layering. Oops, and I need to, this one has the flower centers on it as well. So let's put our blues away here. And put our little flower centers. There we go. Okay, stop it. Sometimes it sticks to my mat when I'm not ready for it to stick yet. There we go. I think that's right. And I am doing Shooting Star. And I'm just putting down, yeah, that's all you need is just a little bit of that. And there's our flower centers. And then Why didn't I get out a green? So let's go with the first one. B1. Yes, that's right here. There we go. Let me grab my green. Let's see. I have for my greens, I have tropical tan. That's a little too bluey. Okay. If I had done a different color flower than blue, I would try that tropical tango on here for the leaves, but let's, I don't know what my cats are doing, but I'm hearing a lot of thumping and bumping from the other room. I think that'll be okay. Okay. I'm going to try to get a little shading on the leaves by going a little darker down here at the base and then out to lighter at the end of the leaf. That one is just a small piece, not going to worry about that. And this one's so small, I'm not really going to worry too much about shading on there. And we'll go to B2. I'm sticking my hand in my ink pad. Not unusual for me. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. Mine, I mean, really, even despite being sick, it was still a nice Christmas. My son came down. Oh, sorry, my back's killing me. When I twist a certain way, boy, it really zings me. But anyway, my son came down, so that was great to see him. We found out our neighbor had been sick, and so my husband saw his car was home, so he called him, and he was like, yeah, he'd been sick, so he was waiting to go see his family until Christmas evening. So we invited him over. And we all ate together. It was great. I did cook. My husband actually did the ham for me, which was very sweet. I just told him how to, to wrap it up how I wanted it done. Let's put it that way. And so he got it into the oven. I fixed homemade macaroni and cheese. I love my macaroni and cheese to be really creamy and super cheesy. And then my son stopped by H Mart up in Duluth, Georgia. And he brought me a Korean squash and I think it was a Thai white cabbage. It was sort of it was, nice, big around, but sort of a flat instead of round like our green cabbage. Oh my gosh, that cabbage was so good. It was sweet. It would have made fabulous coleslaw, I tell you that. And he stopped by the German bakery in Smyrna that he loves that place, Bernard's, and he bought me 2 bags of their homemade chicken soup frozen. So they freeze it and you can like boil it in the bag if you want to. Sorry, my back. And he brought some seeded bread. It has all kind of pumpkin seeds and different seeds in it. So good. Kind of it's a very dense bread, but man, it went so well with that meal. All right, and here is our beautiful this mat really holds it, and I just cleaned this mat too. Oh, sorry. I do not know how I hurt my bags just from so much coughing or what. Wow. Okay, so there is our flower, and boy, is that ever gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. Let me put this up, and we are going to I'm just going to go ahead and do both of these vases, I think, while I've got this stuck down. But let's see. And they have the top of the vase. I'm going to have the flowers in the vase, but if you were just doing the vases by themselves, you might want to color that. I'm not going to bother with that because you're not going to see it. And just need to get this lined up right. I think that's right. Wow. Let me turn the chair around and hop up, and I am going to, switch brands of ink here because I would like to do, where are they? Yeah, just going to do the one. I'm going to try this terracotta color and see how I like it with that blue. So let me grab a different blending brush. Wowza. Sorry, moving a little bit slow there. And I don't know if I have, grab a little scrap piece of paper here. Not sure how juicy this ink pad is. And I don't know, I think I need to clean these brushes. I almost don't use them since I got the other ones, but these are leaving lines now, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to go over this very lightly. Very lightly. I think I want to go just maybe a teensy bit darker down at the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to go much darker. Oh, that's a pretty color. Oh, oopsie. Much darker on this layer. Come on. You're not lining up right. Okay, that's about as good as I'm going to get it, I think. Oh yeah. Tell you, I see a little bit of white there. Let's see. There. There. There, kind of covered up some of that white. That is gorgeous. And I think that's going to look really good with the blue flowers. That is so pretty. And let me put this away. Nope. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do this other this other vase while I'm going, because it only takes, well, you saw that, just hardly any time at all. Okay, stop sticking so well. There we go. And then the second layer. Tell you, the vase is harder to get lined up than the flower. Okay. And this part up here is really going to be covered, but and here's our reveal. So pretty. So, so pretty. And just very careful pulling this up. Look at that. Love it. Okay. I'm only gonna die cut out one of these for right now. And put that face down there. Let me move some of these things out of the way and get that die cut out. And we are going to bring in an embossing folder. I have quite a few Altenew 3D embossing folders. Let's see here. Oh, we do not want Mighty Waves. I'm not going to do the sky one or the basket weave. Now, we could do, I think I'm going to do this one. It's called Illusion Triangles. I need to get some more of these storage pockets. I just get these off Amazon. And I can store 2 embossing folders in here. Oh, there goes somebody wants to share their music with the whole neighborhood. So let's get this done on a panel. I'm going to go ahead and get out my card base too. Hey, Mr. Whiskers. Oh my goodness, I need to do some more panels and some more card bases. Look out. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to the size I want it, which is 4 by 5 1/4 before I run it through the embossing folder. It gets a little distorted once you run it through. And then sometimes it's hard to get a straight cut. So let's just line this up as good as I can with my crookedy little eyes. I use this for a shim because in my my spell binders it's not quite thick enough, the sandwich. So, or I mean the embossing folder isn't quite thick enough for the Spellbinder sandwich. So let's see here. Run this through. And I just run it through slowly. And that gives us a really nice panel. That is just lovely. Get my dies out. Need 2 sympathy cards. We had one staff member, her brother's been very ill and he passed away over Christmas. I think he might have passed away Christmas Day. So need a sympathy card for her. Get that lined up nicely. And then we have a volunteer. Someone in her family died over the holiday, so and you know, things like that can happen any time of the year, but I think it just seems things like that stand out more, I think, when it's over the Christmas holiday. Since it should be a little more joyful time and not a stressful time for us. And here we go. Going to run this through. Sorry, it's a little hard to move here. And here we go. That is lovely. Really, really pretty. And we are going to I'm going to get this right down here on at the bottom. And I'm not even going to put any foam tape on here. Wow. Just reaching for the glue is painful. tell y'all, it's going to the doctor. I hope I don't have to go to the doctor for my back now. Okay, here we go. Try to get that somewhat centered. And get our flower on here. I will have to trim that just a hair. But not much. This is so big. This would be perfect for like a 6x6 or a 5x7 card. This is absolutely beautiful. I'll hold that down for a second. And to put this on the card base, I'm going to get out my other glue. Let's see, let me turn very slowly here. What did I do? Didn't I get out my card base? I'm sure I did, but no, I don't see it. Here's one. Okay, we are going to just put this down here. Just a little more glue. Oh, somebody else that likes to share their music. This is just so pretty. And y'all, because I am having so much trouble at the moment moving around, I am off camera. I'm going to put my sympathy sentiment on here. That is a beautiful card. Really, really pretty. I am going to trim this here. And that's all I have to trim on here. And so I didn't trim off as much. That's why I glued this down first. And then just had these even with the card base itself. So isn't that pretty? Thank you all for joining me this evening. And because this is a sympathy card, if I put any kind of gem on here at all, it's just going to be some kind of little clear gem. But I really don't bling up my sympathy cards. So that is our card for this evening. I hope you like it, and I hope you will join me again in the next video. I will see you then. Bye-bye.